You mentioned that you were told by someone with knowledge that Tibbs's recent antics continue to rub some people within the organization the wrong way, and friction is high. If you want to just maybe expand on that a little bit and tell us kind of like
Yeah,
what you know and so on and so
sure.
forth.
So I'll give all credit first and foremost to I think the Berman definitely had it, and I'm fairly certain Ian had it at last All-Star break. That there were some people in the organization who weren't really thrilled with Tibbs, and I think there was the rumor floating around that Worldwide West went to Dolan and tried to kind of peg the team's failures in the first half of the season on Tibbs, and Mark confirmed this on my pod on I think it was Friday, that West wasn't the only one who had misgivings about the way Tibbs was approaching the season. There were other people in the organization who are I'll use an Ian Begley term, voices of influence, right? That weren't thrilled with how he was handling the year and maybe blamed him for some things. And so basically all that I had today, is that those people are still there, which should surprise nobody because we haven't heard of anybody getting fired from the front office. Like all the people of note are still there, and that like there's still. I mean, I'll use the word that I used today, which is friction. Which I wish I could give some more to that, but like I was kind of intentionally vague for a reason because, full disclosure, I don't have the specifics of this. All I know is that there are people there with, how last season went, think that the way Tibbs goes about things, with obviously veterans are going to play a lot of minutes, and he's going to try to win every game, regardless of who gets time in those games and who doesn't get time.
Right.
That there are some people who think that that's not perhaps the best way to approach things for where they're at as an organization. And Tibbs is lucky enough to have one guy in his corner. The only guy, well, there's two guys that matter. I have no idea, by the way. I saw there was some speculation about like maybe Dolan's the one like who is keeping Tibbs safe. I have no idea if that's true or not. Could be, could not be. I really don't know. I'd be guessing. But Leon Rose certainly is in Tibbs' corner. And he continues to be my own guess as to why that is because Leon thinks that the best results for the Knicks are going to happen if they win the most games, and I think he still believes that Tom Thibodeau is the best coach to get them the most wins possible this year. I think that's why he hired him. Whatever it is now, 30 months ago, or however long it's been.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I could really add other than that. I guess I'll say that there was a little bit that I heard that I didn't put in there because I'm not really sure of it, and I would never want to put a timeline. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But my assumption is that there will be a point, where if it gets not great for long enough. Like I think there's a world where I'll say this. I think there's a world where he doesn't make it through the season. This should not come as a shock to everybody. Everybody thinks Tibbs is definitely going to make it through the year. I mean, I don't know what they've been doing in terms of all the stuff they reported. Like, I think he's absolutely on the hot seat. But they would have to do like poorly. I don't think there's any world whatsoever where they're an above 500 team